There is no good to come from a tragedy like the one that took the life of Johnny Gaudreau and his brother Matthew before the weekend that just passed us. But I think it's still a good and, yes, appropriate time to appreciate the hockey family. Good morning to you. Good Monday morning. I'm Dejan Kovacevic of DK Pittsburgh Sports. This is Daily Shot of Penguins. It comes your way bright and early every weekday. If you're into football and or baseball, I also offer daily shots of Steelers and Pirates in the same place that you found this. Deepest condolences before I even get going here to the Gaudreau family, to the people who knew and loved him, to the people who love and follow the star-crossed franchise that is the Columbus Blue Jackets, to people like the Penguins' Kevin Hayes, who counted Johnny Gaudreau among his best friends. And I could keep going, and I still wouldn't even touch on the number of people that Gaudreau touched, because that, my friends, is at least partly the nature of hockey. It is a family affair at its root. There can't be more than a handful of stories, backstories of young players, particularly in North America, that don't start off with mom or dad driving the family SUV or station wagon across multiple states so that the kid could play travel hockey. And for that matter, mom or dad getting involved in the coaching and the instruction and the fundraising and everything else that goes into this great game at its foundation. I'm not saying that these don't exist in other sports, but I'm saying that they exist out of necessity and have for many, many years in hockey. Why? Because it's still not all that common, even in the more hockey mainstream states, for public schools to have hockey programs that are funded by the school. So the families either do it or the kid doesn't get a chance. And that's why every player, when they get up at that podium at the awards ceremonies or at the Hall of Fame inductions, first people they thank invariably are the parents, and they tell the same tale time after time. But that family feel extends to the extent that when one team hurts, everyone joins in. You don't just see it on social media, although that's where, we kind of see town halls moving toward. You see it in the collegial spirit that's shown by the various teams in how they'll show their respect or honor the memory of someone who's fallen. I love that about this sport. I love that hockey fans are fans first and foremost of the sport, of all of the players on all 32 teams except the Flyers. And now really, I think you can throw the Rangers in there too, so just the Flyers and the Rangers. Okay, but all the other 30. How it's never enough in the hockey fraternity or sorority to talk about just your team or just your team's players. You have to know everybody. You gotta know who's skating on Anaheim's fourth line. And you gotta know your history too. You gotta be versed in the background. So when someone says Connor McDavid is the greatest player of all time, you come armed to the argument. And you don't come armed with someone else from this century. You come armed with the correct answer. We're going to see, most unfortunately, this fall, all kinds of dedications, ceremonies, moments of silence, video tributes, interviews, of course, that'll remind everyone about Johnny Gaudreau throughout the season. And that's as it should be. In addition to being the person, the husband, the brother, the son, everything that you've been seeing, hearing, and reading about in the past few days, this was also a really, really good hockey player. Not a good hockey player for being 5'9", just a really good hockey player. And it's okay to bring that up, too, in the hockey perspective, because that's what he was, a hockey player. And that's also how the hockey family gets along. It's how we communicate. I'm proud, you could probably tell here, of being part of that family my entire life. I've loved this sport, have participated in it in every marginal, modest way that I could. And yeah, there's a part of me that sees this community, or family is still a better word, come together at a time like this and help each other cope with it. What a wonderful trait for a specific sporting society to have. When we come back, J1Q. This episode is brought to you by Bet Online, your number one source for all your summer sports needs this season, from Major League Baseball, golf, NHL, NBA playoffs. Get the latest odds and lines, including all team matchups, player props, odds on just about everything that's out there. Head to the website today or use your mobile device to get in on the action. Bet Online, where the game starts. Today's J1Q comes from Jeff, who says, DK, is anyone just a tiny bit concerned that the Sidney Crosby contract still isn't done? Is it possible that Sid is looking for a multi-year deal that includes a player opt-out after year one so he can see if Dubas's reset is... I'm just going to stop you here, Jeff. He's going to sign. He's going to sign for 3 years. He's going to get the money that he wants. He's going to come into camp. He's going to be in every way, shape, and form, everything that you'd expect him to be, only more, because that's the way Sid rolls. You think this, and he does that because it's a higher bar in his head than it is in ours. He's going to captain the team with the same passion he's always shown. He's going to lead the team in scoring. He's going to set a golden, iconic, legendary example for the younger players that have just been brought into the fold. And that is as close as I can come to saying anything interesting about the Sid contract situation. Don't worry about it. He's not in town. They'll have it done. You wouldn't do something like that without him in town, because you'd rightly want to generate the appropriate fuss. And for what it's worth, I'd also be mindful that over the next few days, I think you're going to see a lot of NHL teams be mindful themselves about getting all giddy about any kind of news that they might have, for obvious reasons. I appreciate the question. I appreciate everyone who listens to Daily Shot of Penguins. I really appreciate and have my whole life this great game. Let's hook up again tomorrow, everybody.